Welcome back to the Nameless College Football Show, where we don't have a name or graphics or big-time sponsors, but we more than make up for that with enthusiasm, knowledge, handsomeness, and charisma. I'm your host, Brandon. As always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Petey. Petey, how are you doing?
Happy that it is warming up.
Yeah, it's been terrible. This has been ridiculous here. This is Charleston. We're not supposed to
20
be
degrees
below
is
50.
not acceptable. This is why people move to the South, is to not be cold.
Yeah, this has been dumb. So I agree. Speaking of cold, the news broke the end of last week that Michigan had to coldly chop Coach Sherrone Moore because he's getting a little wild in terms of women. Yeah. And it quickly, I feel like we went from, okay, he's fired. What's he fired for? We learned why he was fired. Then he gets arrested, and so we can't really joke about it. But then it kind of swung back around to where we can joke about it because, everyone's safe.
Yeah.
So let's see if we'll just go back. Initial thoughts when you heard he was fired.
When I heard, you went away for a second. When I heard he was fired, I did not realize, I didn't know why. I just assumed it was because, they won 8 or 9 games his first 2 years. Which is not really something that you would deem as up to their standards at Michigan. And then I read more and I said, with cause, he was having he was having relations with a staff member. So it was, it seemed like it was probably just something. At first thought, I thought it was something that was just okay, they wanted to get rid of him anyways. And then this was the thing. And then all this, the avalanche just hit with everything else that was going on. It just seemed, this seemed like after the fact, now with all the data points we have, it seemed like this was bound to happen. And because everybody had known about this affair for a while, it seems, just was not public knowledge to the rest of us.
Yes. I see why I disappeared. Apparently it cut my mic. So now I'm just on my laptop microphone. And This is the no frills coverage we bring to the college football world. So I'll just have this mic here for show. And it's really upsetting for me because this also happened. We've talked about this with Mel Tucker at Michigan State.
Yeah.
Being a black man in Michigan, I guess you just are way too horny to control yourself and keep a job. You can't hold down a job in Michigan. It
seems like a good thing. It seems like there's a common denominator there for some reason. And I don't know if Mel Tucker has anything to do with what's his name, Harbaugh. But it seemed like there was a whole string of Michigan stuff going on with Harbaugh that keeps filtering into other people. So you just keep following the trail, and there's not a whole lot of good stuff coming out of Michigan at the moment.
No. And so it was a problem. The receipts for firing him, you see why it was with cause, because an executive assistant for a football team, typically when they're making $58,000 a year, 1 year, typically doesn't get a $42,000 a year raise going from 1 year to the next. If they could do that, I would be applying so quickly, but there's normally strings attached, and that appeared to be the case.
And you have to live in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Exactly, $90,000. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then when it came out that he had, I'm still not clear. I'm guessing he went to the mistress's home, and that's where he was arrested and broke in and threatened to kill himself with I believe he had a regular knife and a butter knife, is from what I've read.
Seems like a complete mental break.
Yeah.
With reason and reality of conduct unbecoming a Michigan head football coach. Although I think the firing happened before this.
Yes.
So he was probably on the edge.
Yeah.
Then he got fired.
Yeah.
And then he goes and tries to unalive himself at his sister's house. To compound all of the problems and make things even worse.
Yeah, and you definitely don't do that. And we are on the record. We're glad that he did not kill himself. So way to go.
Yeah.
But we do have to talk about. First of all, I'm not going to give anybody tips on how to kill themselves. I do think a butter knife highly ineffective. Number one. Okay.
I think there's better ways.
Yeah, because unless you're going maybe a longer term clogged artery route where you're just like, I'm spreading this butter thick, and then down the road, I'm gonna have a heart attack and die.
Well, unless you're gonna go through the eyeball and scoop out some eye jelly,
which is not.
Yeah,
it's inadvisable at best.
Seems like a lot of pain when there's a lot more quick and effective ways to do it. So yeah, but if he had a real knife too,
then yes, then that makes you wonder, why bring the butter knife?
Why are we double fisting them? Why we got two? Why not just go with the one good one? Unless you're planning on using the other one block a fist or something.
A bagel first, maybe. I don't understand. So that kind of goes to show maybe wasn't in his right state of mind. And if you're not in your own right state of mind, go get help. There's hotlines. Please do that.
You can afford a therapist as well.
Yes. And secondly, the fact that he crashed out so hard for something that in the college football world, if you win football games, we probably don't hear about, right?
Yeah, no one gives a shit.
No. So,
Bobby Petrino, we didn't care as long as he was winning football games until he wrecked his motorcycle.
Yeah. So stay off motorcycles and win football games. That appears to be the rules.
Yeah. It does. You might get fired for that one job, but you're going to find another one.
Yes, go step down a level, FCS, maybe Division II. Yeah. Work your way back up. Get a coordinator job, high level D1 in a couple of years, and then maybe you get another chance to be a head coach down the road. But I don't think it's worth completely losing your mind over, especially if you're going to set out to do all this in the first place.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to be somewhat prepared for the fallout.
Right. Well, and also infidelity, cheating on your wife, as unscrupulous as it might be, it is not illegal.
No.
And I would say it's really not even that something that alone would not get you fired from a coaching position. Look at Urban Meyer.
Yes.
We might. It was just him cheating on his wife. It's not great. Not a good look. But if you're winning games, they're not going to fire you.
Yeah.
But so that's what made me think that they were just looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
No, they knew about it for a while, I think, so they could have done it sooner. But that just kind of was the kindling to start the fire right there.
Yeah, it just really, really strange for all this to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
he could have been better at keeping it a secret. Seems like everyone there seemed to have known what was going on. So I'm a little surprised that it was this big of a blow up, if it was pretty much common knowledge among the staff.
Probably don't cheat on your wife with an employee too.
Yeah, that gets don't cheat on her regardless. But
yes, number one. But it shouldn't be an employee of yours. It shouldn't be a subordinate.
Right. Yeah,
and
I think that's what got it fired, is that it was a subordinate. And wasn't she pregnant?
I've heard she was pregnant. I have not seen confirmation that she was pregnant.
Yeah, there's rumors.
It's the rumor.
Who knows what actually the truth is?
So many rumors about this man. Yeah. And also, as a society, how unseriously we take this, anytime I venture over to Twitter, which is rarely a good idea these days, anyways, but his picture has now become a reaction like meme for anytime like a white woman posts something that's which maybe she's not wearing a lot of clothes or she's attractive. Someone will quote the tweet with a picture of his face, and you don't want your worst moment to turn into a meme. That's tough.
Yeah, that's fun.
Because this man, wow. What?
We did get a little bit on, I'm on Instagram some, so I did see the whole side by side comparison between him and Bobby Petrino pictures.
Yes. Yes. And which just goes to show, like, just if you ride this out, Petrino recovered from it. Like, he didn't make it back to, like, the level he was.
Well, he's interim coach at Arkansas, or at least was. So, I mean, he is probably going to get another job at some point.
Hugh Freeze was calling escort services on the university cell phone. And he went coaching at Liberty, which...
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, it's funny who they choose to forgive. But yeah, and then the Auburn, and his big crime was losing at Auburn. It wasn't that they were like, oh, wait, this is that Hugh Freeze. It was just, oh, he didn't win football games, so he's got to go. So, yeah, that's tough. And you could kind of see he's not my kind of coach. Coach Sherrone Moore, not my kind of coach. Just from the moment he was crying on national TV.
Exactly what I was going to say. I've not. As soon as he was crying for being allowed to coach a game while Harbaugh was on suspension, just like clue to me, number one, that this guy is not someone that's going to win championships, and eventually will be I think Michigan had this plan anyways, but he was just going to be a placeholder until they found the guy. Now I don't know who they're going to find now, but it's it was not it was not inspiring to me to see him crying on the sideline.
Like, you knew it was going to end poorly. Now, we could not have imagined it would end.
We didn't think it was going to be. I thought he would just be fired for going 8-4.
Yeah, that would make more sense. But yeah, just not off to a good start for him. So good luck. Hope he gets his life together. And yeah, we don't know who the coach is going to be. I've heard DeBoer was my thought, but it looks like he's doubling down on Bama. And Dillingham at Arizona State.
They are close to a extension with him, but Michigan has deep pockets, so who knows? I mean, and also, don't count that extension yet. It hasn't happened yet, so at least as far as I know. And then I don't know who else would be in it. Drinkwitz. I've heard about him. I think Drinkwitz is probably the better coach. I think he's won at Missouri very consistently, and in the SEC. So I think overall he's the best coach for the job. Can they get him away from Missouri? I don't know.
I think, I agree. He would probably be my first choice if I were Michigan. But I wonder, we see these jobs that are supposed to be like the blue blood jobs, like Michigan, Penn State, and they can't get coaches. So
that is the insane part to me. Penn State really fucked this up. They got every other coach in the country paid because they couldn't get a single one.
They couldn't make it happen, and it's like, what is going on in the landscape that has made this the case? Because you're right, like Penn State and Michigan, I would think would have the most money of any schools with a coaching vacancy. But is it that, the expectations at these schools are really high, and it's going to be hard to meet them in the current landscape? So why bother? Is that I'm wondering if that's like the mindset of these coaches.
My thought process would be that if I'm coaching in the SEC right now and I'm at Missouri, which is a good team, but you're never going to win a championship at Missouri, because you have to play in the SEC.
Yeah.
Michigan would be very attractive to me if I wanted to actually play for a championship, because if you're coaching in Michigan, you've just got to be like the top 3 in that league. Just like, you got to worry about, maybe you'll play Indiana, maybe you'll play Ohio State. Well, of course, Michigan's will play Ohio State, and then maybe Oregon.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of it's a wash. So, I mean, at least it should be, at least.
Yeah.
Michigan should be outperforming, it has more resources, or at least should have more resources than, the bottom 12 teams in that league.
Just very, very weird. And the Matt Campbell hire at Penn State, I would be so sad. One 10-win season in his career. Last year they won 11 games at Iowa State.
So I like Matt Campbell. The thing is, Penn State should have been able to get a more high-profile coach, like hands down. They should have had the pick of whoever they wanted.
Yeah,
I do think Matt Campbell is a really good coach. I don't think he's better than Franklin.
No,
but he has gotten Iowa State, who used to be a laughingstock for decades, to be like a respectable team. They're an 8-win, consistently 8-win team. And for that to be at Iowa State, that's a really good job. But I don't think, I think it's still just a complete blunder on Penn State's doing.
especially they were the first high-profile job to come available that really set off all these other dominoes falling, and they had all this time to find somebody, and they ended up with Matt Campbell. And good luck.
And also now they've got an absolutely terrible recruiting class too. They've got they're ranked like 124th or something in the recruiting.
Yeah, so I hope those checks clear for Matt Campbell, because that's going to be tough.
I'm sure his buyout is going to be hefty.
Yeah. So the other thing that happened, we have a Heisman Trophy winner. His name is Francisco. I keep calling this man Francisco. Why? Fernando Mendoza. Jesus, it feels slightly xenophobic. I'm sorry. I'll issue a statement, an apology later. So what do you think about just these Heisman finalists? We've talked about it some, but felt uninspiring.
It was. I didn't give a shit. It's just like, it was the Heisman. Now the Heisman we've discussed before. It doesn't mean anything anymore. When was the last time a Heisman winner went out and did something spectacular in the NFL? They usually, it's usually a quarterback. So I think like Tua, Bryce Young, Cam Newton. Those are some guys that I can think of. Like, they didn't go like buck wild in the NFL. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. I think it's just a farce now, as far as like, we're just putting in the best quarterback and on the best team, and that's it.
Yeah, I think we've come kind of full circle, because that's how I remember it being when I was a child, when like Eric Crouch would win it, or Chris Winkie. And it was basically just, this is the best quarterback this is the starting quarterback on the best team, who is not going to play NFL. Like, he's not going to start in the NFL. Kind of like a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, we're going to give it to guys who could do something. And now this year it has really been like, okay, we don't know who the best player, the most outstanding player in college football is. So we're going to go back to the quarterback on the best team in the nation. And here you go.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't get you anything anymore. Like, it used to have like a lot of notoriety behind the Heisman winner. Like in the Reggie Bush days and all that. Just, it was such a high profile award. Now, like, nobody really cares. Because it is, it just seems like everyone that gets the award just turns out to just fizzle out after that.
Yeah, I guess there's been a couple, like Burrow Jane Daniels
Yeah.
rookie
Yeah,
season.
but that's been what, 6 years ago?
Yeah, so it's been tough, and I don't know. What do you think about Mendoza?
I feel like he has been, like you said, he's like severely socially deficient and like homeschooler vibes.
I saw
Um,
someone describe him as a politician who has deep, dark secrets and is trying to prevent us all from finding them out.
yes,
Like
he's on
that's
Grinder.
good talks. Like I don't know, and he is very Kirk Cousins. Like I loved watching the Netflix series Quarterback with Kirk Cousins, but he is very much like Kirk Cousins, who I find amusing and also terrifying.
What really got me was when he called his mother mommy. It really creeps me out when an adult man calls someone mommy,
It,
and it just makes me want to puke.
it's really
Also, same way on the other side, you like an adult woman calling her father daddy. Um, it grosses me out. And maybe that's just me, but it just once you say that one of those two words, I'm kind of done with you.
it's tough because a big part of his Heisman story was his mom having MS. And so it's like you feel it's hard to critique
We're
their
always looking for the
relationship.
sob story too. Why are we always looking for the rags to riches, overcoming cancer or some kind of disease? Yeah, those things happen to regular people too.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just only gets light when their son is a star football player or basketball player or whatever.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
it is a bit much. And it's they were just hammering this home and I'm glad he loves his mom. I'm glad his mom loves him. I hope she lives a long, healthy life. And also, I have my own problems. And so I want to hear something uplifting sometimes, damn it. Like, I don't know. And it was just the like sadness Olympics because then you have Jeremiah Love and they're talking about how I don't know if it's Asperger's or autism that he has. So they're talking about that. And then you got Diego Pavia, who is really just turned out to be kind of an asshole. And
yeah.
he was like the underdog that we were all pulling for. And now he's issuing an apology. He came in second in Heisman voting. And he went on Instagram and posted F all the Heisman voters. And which is weird because you can say fuck. Like if you're going to say F, you might as well say fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he was in the club and they had like one of those like the digital signs that they bring to you in the club now with bottle service, and it said F Indiana. And so he had to
It's
issue.
not a bad thing. I get it. It's not a politically correct, like socially
That's true.
acceptable. I get, but he's pissed off. He lost the award. Would you not be the whole? I thought we were kind of done with the whole fake, like, oh, I'm happy for so and so. They won the award. They beat me, but they deserved it. That kind of hoopla. No, they're too mad. Like I wanted it. Give
I
it to him. Let him grieve for 48 hours. If he's still talking shit 3 weeks from now, then we'll tone it back. But in the moment, I can kind of understand.
I do understand in the moment. I do think the fuck Indiana was confusing because it wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily Indiana's fault, and I don't have a problem saying fuck all the Heisman voters because some of them probably are terrible.
Well, they're also AP voters, and we
Yeah,
see
well, and
what they're doing.
but I think the general thing is it's kind of like death by a thousand cuts, where like, he just keeps doing stuff that is annoying,
Yeah.
and like he was on the Heisman red carpet, and he had like his earbuds in, just little like annoying shithead things, nothing criminal. Like you can, if you want Theo Vaughn to bang your mom, by all means, like set that up if that's what you're into. I don't know. But just little things. I think it all came to a head with this, with the Heisman reaction. And I don't think it helps him that he's also acting like this, and everyone is under the assumption that he is the oldest football player ever.
Yeah.
Which isn't really true. He would not have even been the oldest Heisman winner. Chris Winkie, who I talked about earlier, was like 28 because he played professional baseball first.
I was it just popped up because same thing. Was it Weedman?
Brandon Weeden.
Yeah. When he was like 29.
Yeah.
And then I think he finished second in the voting that year, but then went on to play for the Browns. So he was like 30.
Never heard from him again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think like there was just a lot of different Diego Pavia things, and I saw some interviews where he's obviously very confident, and someone was asking him like best college football player of all time, and he was like, well, it's me. And just doing like, I guess it's kind of feels like a bad Johnny Manziel impression.
Yeah.
I think that's where he's losing people. Because, we had one Johnny Manziel, and that was amusing. But then we saw how all that turned out, and now we have to deal with another one, and he's 5'4", and it's just weird.
Manziel, we kind of, I never bought in on Manziel as far as like being able to go into the NFL.
You were ahead of the curve on that.
And I think Pavia could, but I think it's because he's 38. He can he's got a little bit more maturity. He's learned how to read a defense now and how to read a playbook. Manziel never even looked at a playbook. So I think that's the only difference, really. But he's a little bit thicker than Manziel is as well. He can take a hit.
Yeah.
So, but I did see the meme there where it was all four of them, Pavia and Mendoza and Love and was it Sayan? I think.
Yep.
And it had all their heights listed.
Yeah.
And it said one of these is lying. Because Pavia was like
head shorter than
everybody else.
Yeah, that was a very tough picture.
One of these are lying, or three of them are lying.
You have to take a couple steps forward and shift the perspective in the picture if you're Diego Pavia, because that was tough. So yeah, Heisman. I wish I was still a lover of the Heisman Trophy festivities, but I'm not. And then Pavia, it's just been wild to see how he's gone from underdog story to now people want him stoned to death. But I think that's kind of like a societal thing too we do with people, where we build them up, and then like as soon as the first thing you do that we don't like, now we're going to tear you down.
Well, if you were a Vanderbilt fan, I think you would be loving it.
Oh yeah, because like talking about Vandy football all the time now, like that's what we're talking about.
You get to actually be happy about something good in Vandy football.
Yeah. So I don't know. So we will see. He says he's playing in the ReliaQuest Bowl. So that is
these bowls, man. I don't know who's naming them. This is ridiculous.
So we talked about. I completely missed that they were having a bowl game on Saturday.
Yeah, I happened to be looking and saw that see when the bowl game started, and saw that Washington was beating Boise.
Yeah,
23-3 or something in the first half.
So this is where we've gone wrong with. There's too many bowls. That was the Bucked Up LA Bowl, hosted by Gronk, I believe. So if you have a bowl that's hosted by Rob Gronkowski, you probably should eliminate that bowl game just altogether.
Yeah.
And
also, just real quick, Washington's head coach was mentioned in the Michigan job as well.
That's right,
because he was under Harbaugh.
So was that Jed Fish?
Yeah.
So I heard a rumor he's looking to get out of there because his family does not like living in the state of Washington. So he left Arizona for the Washington job when DeBoer left, and I've heard he's over it because his family was miserable there. I heard they actually are still living in Arizona. So that is just an interesting little tidbit. But yeah, the Bucked Up LA Bowl. The bowl sponsors are kind of what have thrown me now because I'm used to like the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl,
right?
But that's the Verbo Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah.
Bucked Up LA, we got the
we used to have the Valero Bowl, like
Yes.
Valero Alamo Bowl or something, I think is what it was. And now we got the Bad Boy Lawnmowers Bowl.
The Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, the Gold Bowling Military Bowl,
Okay.
Wasabi Fenway Bowl, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
All
This
right.
is
Now,
we've gone on to.
I would, if I was maybe kids these days don't have an appreciation for Snoop Dogg like we do, but maybe, if I was back in my college days, if I was playing, I'd want to go to the Snoop Dogg Bowl.
They probably give you like weed for real now.
That's
Depending
probably
on
legal. Well, maybe not in Arizona.
is weed legal there would be the question. But yeah, we have a lot of bowls and too many. And some of the sponsors I think don't need to be sponsors.
Yeah.
So, the good news, I guess, is that we will surely eliminate all these bowls here soon because the only thing that will matter will be the playoffs. And I will sob because I do like bowl season. What do you think? I was thinking about this and it sounds stupid. And so I need confirmation that it's stupid. If we move the bowl games and make them the first game of the following season, the non-playoff bowl games. And so then you're opening up with a bowl matchup. And it's like a kickoff weekend.
But you'd already have different rosters and stuff, right?
Yep. But you're probably going to have them anyways with everyone transferring and going into the portal before the bowl game and coaches leaving.
You will have if we just use what if we just if we use them as like a preseason game, they don't count for your schedule or anything like that. I think that would make more sense. Use them as a preseason game, and then don't have them count against your record. Because right now you're not even getting like third string starters playing in these bowl games because everybody's either saying, "Oh, I'm transferring," or I'm declaring for the draft or whatever. Just that's why it's so hard to predict what's going to happen in these bowl games because it's just a lot of you're not even playing with this.
It's not
You've got maybe a quarter of the kids you started with at the beginning of the year.
I think that's why my kickoff idea, because I think if it's just treated as like a preseason thing, I think we'll get even less participation. Because it seems like this is the case in the NBA too. The more money we give people and the more guaranteed money we give people, the less people actually want to do the sport. Like, okay, we got to do the load management. We don't want to risk injury, so we're not going to play. And so I think that would go a long way towards maybe forcing teams into tougher matchups at the beginning of the season instead of cupcake opponents.
Yeah.
And getting some more matchups between different conferences to help make that preseason AP poll, the adjustments happen quicker would be my thought. But again, I gave this maybe 7 minutes of thought, but it was dedicated 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It was.
I think that is probably it's probably better than what we have now.
We're gonna have to come up with something because this is getting tough. These non-playoff bowl games.
So you're trying to. What's the reward system for winning games in your season in order to get to another bowl game? If you're playing for a bowl game that happens next year for a completely different, half your roster is turned over. I would assume like seniors would want to be playing for a bowl game that they're going to play in. Is what I would. I mean, maybe not anymore. I think that's kind of what it was back in the day, but
yeah, that's what it used to be. So I'm wondering if you qualify for a bowl game, you get a bonus that season if you were on the roster that qualified, and then the following season, that's who plays. And maybe there's like a separate bonus, like there's a qualification bonus and then a roster bonus if you're on it the next season. And graduating seniors, if you graduate, maybe you get the roster bonus even though you're not going to be on the team. That's the only thing I've figured in my 7 minutes.
Yeah, just make it financially
Yeah, fine. Because I mean, that's what they say. The kids only care about money. I don't know how much I believe that. I think everyone involved cares about money, but they say it's only the kid.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I mean, if I was going to get paid, I would want. If everyone's getting paid, I want to get paid too.
That would make the most sense. So, so that's we will keep working on this plan until they make us commissioners.
We'll iron it out. Yeah, when we become co-commissioners, we'll fix college football.
I'm going to dedicate another 7 minutes to this sometime this week. Yeah. So don't worry, everybody. All right, so we do have playoff games this week. Which of them excite you the most? And I'm going to start the Miami Texas A&M game. That's my most exciting game.
Yeah,
because now, what's that? I was going to say now we get to see which of Notre Dame's losses was more impressive.
Yes.
So that's why I'm excited about it. But
so I mean, I think that A&M should be favored. Like they have been more consistently good over the course of the year. I don't at Miami. I'll tell you who I trust. I trust Malachi Toney, and I trust their defense. I don't know which Carson Beck I'm gonna get. It can be really bad or really good. And based on a Texas A&M defense at home, probably not going to be a conducive environment for Carson Beck.
I would agree. A&M currently favored by 3. So, and like on top of Carson Beck, you got Mario Cristobal coaching. So,
right. Yeah.
I do think it's funny that the committee was like, all right, well, Notre Dame, you're out, and you've just been holding up these close losses to A&M and Miami to start the season, so we will go ahead and have them play and see which one was better. What else? The other game that's going to be supposed to be even closer, according to Vegas, Bama, Oklahoma, which we have seen before. I don't want to see it again.
I don't want to see it again, but I think the only reason, if I remember correctly, I think when they played previously, Alabama had a lot of things not bounce their way, and then Oklahoma was able to just take advantage of it. I don't think that will happen again. Also, I mean, although we did see Alabama just seem really fucking terrible against Georgia last week, but I don't think that's typical of Alabama. And also, I think Georgia is getting hot. So I don't trust Oklahoma to do enough on offense in order to be a real contender.
Yep. So this, like, their first matchup was pretty much a microcosm of the programs, in my opinion. Bama, they played. They were the better team, but they made like silly mistakes that you would not have seen under Saban typically that cost them the game. And then Oklahoma, their defense carried them, and Venables just basically ignored the offense. I think they got an interception return for a touchdown that helped and everything. Yeah. And it was like, that's just been what Oklahoma has been this season, where they win, but you don't really trust them because the offense looks so terrible. I don't know why the committee, I don't like seeing rematches in the playoffs, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, not in the first round. And so they did it with this one. They did it with Ole Miss and Tulane. That just seems so lazy to me. I guess the only difference for the Ole Miss game is I just saw before we got on here that up in the air if Trinidad Chambliss is going to play for Ole Miss. So that would be an interesting wrinkle, but I still think Ole Miss, SEC physicality over Tulane.
Yeah, we saw this. I don't know when they played. It was like week 2 or 3 or something like that.
I just hate seeing
like 30 to nothing, like 30-7, I think, in the third quarter.
Yeah. So the first round playoff games are kind of a signal to me that we have too many playoff teams, because I'm just kind of like, we're just trying to coast through them. Nothing really exciting happens in the first round of a 12-team playoff. It's just like, all right, let's see who advances, and then we can kind of get down to it for real. So,
yeah,
I want to get the people more excited for it, but I
I'd say it's probably better than last year's though, because we had like Boise, getting the first round bye and then getting blown out. No reason why they should have been there to begin with, but so I mean, really, the problem is like the seeding is an issue. When the format's an issue because we're getting the 2 G5 teams in there to play against SEC teams in the first round. So it's just going to be a walkthrough for the SEC schools, and then they just get these two G5 teams are going to get hammered. So it proves to me why we need a separate playoff for the G5. It shouldn't be working like this.
You know what I did watch this weekend? It is happening again this upcoming weekend that was entertaining. The FCS playoffs.
Yeah.
Those are good. I like.
Well, they're evenly matched teams. They're more like they're playing in the same league.
Yep. So the semifinals, if you want to watch more competitive football, those are happening on Saturday. And like the one matchup, Montana State, the spread is 4 points. The other matchup, Illinois State and Villanova, the spread is 1.5 points. Playing to see who goes to the championship game. That's a beautiful thing. They had some really good game. One game, 4th down, threw it to the end zone, originally called a touchdown, but the receiver's toe never came down. It didn't come down by like half an inch. They were like zoomed in on it, so they lost the game. Wow. So really exciting games there, and I'll probably be watching those instead of Tulane and Ole Miss again. That's just me. Okay, what else do we need to cover in the college football world? This was...
I don't know. Is there anything else going on that
I think we nailed it. Wasn't a ton that happened.
It's early bowl season, so we're not in the thick of it yet.
We're gonna go there. We'll get there. So perfect. If perhaps you don't want to watch any college football this weekend, or maybe during the week you have some free time because it's vacation, kids are out of school, and you want a tour of the Low Country Seas with Morris Island Charters, where would you go, Captain Petey?
MorrisIslandCharter.com. Call me, text me, 843-608-8006. Email me at morrisislandcharters@gmail.com. Instagram, Facebook, you can find me there as well.
Beautiful. All right. Well then, we will see y'all next week.